everybody, it's Chris from the Evermore YouTube channel, and we're back with another match preview for Newcastle United's upcoming game Wednesday night this week, a midweek fixture against Everton at St James's Park. So we're going to get stuck into that in a minute and just tell you how we think the team's going to line up, give you a little bit of thoughts as to how we think the game may or may not be won. And we'll get stuck in about a moment here. So just before we do, if you can, a little bit of housekeeping, please click the like and subscribe button. We're finally over 1,900 subs. So thank you so much, everybody who did that after what's going on. Really appreciate it. We're on about 1903. So the next milestone is 2,000 subs. Smash the button. It's all free content. So we don't charge anybody a penny. We just love talking about the club. And it really helps the channel flow if you hit that button. So let's get stuck in then. Yeah, so we're taking on Frank Lampard's Everton, which is a funny one because Everton have suddenly become a club, I think, certainly in the last year or two, that we just don't seem to like, really. I mean, the fans are quite whiny and quite self-entitled. And, you know, there's loads of stuff last season. Was it last season with the fireworks and all this nonsense? And just, yeah, they become quite irritating, the Everton fans. You know, I always quite liked them before under David Moyes, even under Martinez, to be fair. You know, they always kind of had that almost underdog vibe, cast under Liverpool's shadow type of a thing, but they become quite irritating now. I refer to them as the Scouse Mackhams. So I really hope that we smash these up on Wednesday night because I'm quite sick of the sound of them. They're sitting in 14th in a minute and we're sitting in 6th position in the Premier League, and we've been absolutely brilliant in the opening 10 games. But let's have a little look at how I think we're going to line up going into this game. I do think Eddie Howe's going to make some changes. So this is the side that Mark and I have thrown together. You can see at the back there, we've made a couple of changes. So for me, I think with this 3-game week coming in, I can see Jamal Lascelles coming at the centre of defence to partner Botman. I think Matty Targett will get a slot at left back to start with Dan Burn and Shaw dropping to the bench, maybe saving them for the weekend against Spurs. The midfield, I think Willock will come back in after that bout of illness that he had that kept him on the bench against Manchester United. Come on, look quite lively again. So I think it'll be Joe Linton, Bruno and Willock. And then up front, this is where I've made a bit of a wild card change here now. Murphy's played really well, and Fraser probably, Eddie Howe might start Fraser. But for me, I just feel that Wednesday night under the lights, St James's Park, against Everton, a team that's kind of in and around us, so to speak, you know, a team that we really want to do. I just think it might be time for Elliot Anderson, and I really hope Eddie Howe has got a similar mind that I have and a similar way of thinking that I have, because for me, this is a great game to start the young lad on the right-hand side of that midfield. You know, he's got Willock behind him with legs. He's got Trippier there to help him as well. I'd love to see how Elliot Anderson would do starting a game like this on Wednesday night. But let us know what you think in the comments below. I think it's probably going to be Fraser, though, knowing the way Eddie Howe works, or maybe even Murphy. But I just think that with Spurs coming up at the weekend, maybe a bit of squad rotation. And obviously, we'll have those guys coming in. Obviously, it's a blow we're missing Isak and St Maximin, but it sounds like the injury to St Maximin isn't as bad as we first thought. It's just a slight niggle in his hamstring, I think, which is just holding him back a little bit. So hopefully we'll see St Max before the World Cup. But obviously with Isak, we're not going to see him until after the World Cup. He's not going to the World Cup, so that's really good for us because it gives us a chance to get him back to his optimum fitness. John Joe Shelby will be back on the bench again, I think, but I don't think we'll see John Joe get much game time. I think Eddie Howe said in his press conference today that unless it's a real emergency, I don't think John Joe's going to come on the pitch, which again just shows you how far we've come in terms of smart management, as opposed to Steve Bruce just throwing players in 65% fit and ruining them for, you know, even further in the season. So yeah, going into the head-to-heads before I give you an opinion on what I think we're going to do. So the head-to-heads between us and Everton, excuse me there, you can see 54 Premier League games played. They just edged it, actually. So they've won 22 against our 21, 74 goals to 75, 11 clean sheets to 16 clean sheets. So it's always a tight game when we play Everton. It's never a runaway fixture. You can see the form guide going in. Obviously, Everton have got a couple of defeats on their chart. We've our last 5 games there, draws and victories. You know, and the kind of last 5 games that we played together against them, we had a draw. We won 3 on the spin, including Kieran Trippier's superb free kick and that 3-1 victory. And then we also had a 1-0 defeat in the last game against them as well. So, I mean, going into this fixture, for me, I think we've got to feel confident going into this. I mean, Everton are missing some players. They're missing Yerry Mina, Ben Godfrey, Nathan Patterson, and Andros Townsend. But they will have Anthony Gordon coming back, who I know some people like him. He was linked to Newcastle in the summer, much like every other player was. But he really annoys me. Just looks like a little scouse rat that would nick your car radio. And I really hope that Joe Linton sticks one on him, to be honest with you. He is a good player. He is dangerous, though, so we'll have to watch out for him. Calvert-Lewin's back in amongst the subs, I think. he probably won't start. I think Mope will get the start. He's busy, He tries to find little pockets of space, so the defence are going to have to be on their toes. With Lascelles coming into slight worry, I think with Botman there, you might just keep him right, and hopefully we'll get a chance to keep tight at the back. But yeah, for me, I think looking at that fixture, it's the kind of fixture for me that I think we really should be going into with confidence. These are the kind of games that we should be winning at St James's Park. War flags will be out on displays, I'm sure, again. It'll be packed, even though it's a midweek fixture under the lights, and boozers will be heaving. People will probably be finishing work early, having a couple of scoops, getting ready for the game, because it's an exciting time to go to a Newcastle game now. There's confidence in the air. When teams like Everton come to St James's Park, we fancy ourselves to do them. In the past, for many years, that wasn't the case. We were just worried about hanging in a game and maybe leaving with a point if we were lucky. But this is a new look Newcastle United, as I said, going into the weekend, and we've got a great point against Manchester United, who could have really got 3 points. But looking at the fixture himself, where's it going to be won? I think midfield will dominate. I think that's where we'll win this game, in the midfield. I think the way Bruno's playing, Joe Linton looked good at the weekend. He's obviously been out a few games, so he's getting that sharpness back in. I think Joe Linton will be really looking forward to this game in front of that crowd. If you do give Anderson a start, I think this could be the kind of game that makes him. I really, really do. Especially with the injuries to Maxi. If Anderson can get a start and stamp a marker down, he could stay in the team, for weeks and weeks, really. But I think, looking at the lineup, I think we've got there. I do think Wilson will start. There's been a lot of talk about Wilson being rested and then Wood coming in. For me, I'd rather see Wood coming against Spurs, because Spurs will probably be a tougher game. I mean, we're probably going to have a lesser chance of winning against Spurs without Callum Wilson or with Callum Wilson. So for me, I'd play Callum Wilson in the home fixture against Everton at St James's Park. I think he's due a goal. I think he'll get a goal. And I wouldn't like to see Wood start that game, to be honest with you. I really hope that Eddie Howe doesn't go that route. But yeah, for me, I think we'll dominate the midfield. I think obviously with Trippier, hopefully Target overlapping down by the sides, I think we'll have an extra dimension there. If Anderson does get a start, I think, he's busy, he's lively, he's got an eye for a goal. He gives us that threat as well, as a goal threat on the right-hand side, as well as somebody can whip a ball and he can tuck inside. He can do everything that Jody Maradona, and he needs a chance. And I really hope this game is the game that he gets the chance in. So in terms of the results and predictions, I'm going to go big here. I'm going to go confident. I think we win this game 3-1, like we did last season with a Kieran Trippier free kick. I just think that we, at home, we're a different animal. Much better teams than Everton have come to St James's Park and struggled, Man City being one in particular. And I know we struggled against Palace and Bournemouth, but I just think with Wilson back, with Bruno flying, I think with the defence being so assured, and if we can get some creativity out in wide positions, Miggy's been sensational. If Anderson can come in, even if Murphy played, I just think the pace and the movement, I think it'll be a bit too much for Everton. I think we'll catch them out here. I think we'll beat them 3-1. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm excited for the game. I think it's going to be an absolutely superb game. And again, it's just really enjoyable to be a Newcastle fan and go to these games and watch these games on the TV, wherever you are in the world. It's just a brilliant time to be a Newcastle United fan. And I'll back us to get the win and the 3 points. So this is Chris signing off. Let's keep supporting that team. We'll call United, as I mentioned at the start. If you like what we do, smash that button, like and subscribe. It's all free content. We've got the 2 weekly podcasts Monday with what's going on with me and Mark, and normally Wednesdays with Evermore, but this week we'll be doing Thursdays. So tune in Thursday live at 7 p.m. to hear what me and the lads think about the game. I'll probably pop up with a post-match review as well if I can. But until then, let's keep supporting that team of Call United. As I say, 3 points Wednesday night against the Scouse Mackhams. How are the lads? We'll see you later.